All right, guys, we are here to match make right quick. Uh, the main card, the top five fights. The winners, we're looking to see what's next for them. And see some matchups. So with the first guy, we're gonna go Trevor Peak. Real exciting guy. And keep in mind, we're looking at this from a fan standpoint, but we're also looking at it from a business. What's realistically probably gonna happen. And when I'm looking at a guy like Trevor Pete, you don't want to give him too much, right? You don't want to give him too much. He's really good on the mic. He's an exciting guy. And when I look at him, he did need to work on his grappling a little bit. And a perfect fight to work on your grappling with is a guy like Trey Ogden. I want to say he might be 1-1 in the UFC or 0-1 in the UFC, but he was on the Dana White looking for a fight. James Krause convinced him to, make a choice and pick him for the UFC. And I really see Peak probably knocking him out, but facing some adversity to where it levels him up in the grappling area. Harley, what you think on that?
Yeah, man. Like you said, I definitely agree with everything you said here. But if strictly on, you know, Trevor Peak, like you said, really excited fighter, but he's wrong. You can't move him too fast, but you also want to put him in a little bit of adversity to see what he can do, how he handles the adversity, and see what he needs to work on. So with that being said, yeah, Trey Alden to me would be the perfect guy to to continue to move him along with. You know, I think he's a guy like you said that he can stop, that he can handle, but he'll give him a little more resistance. You know, he'll force him to maybe grab for a little bit, have to work back up to his feet, but eventually I see Trevor Pete catching him. It'd be a good solid test for him just to keep moving him along. So yeah, I like this. Like
No
this.
doubt.
And like you said, very realistic matchup as well.
Right, right. Um, Next we got Mike Mallet. He's coming off a first round arm triangle. Didn't really take too much damage. I mean, didn't really take any damage at all. In
No.
his post-fight interview, he's mentioning wanting to fight in Canada, so he's trying to rally for that. I know the UFC been trying to go back too as well. But when I look at Mallet, he's what? He's two fights in the UFC, or that was his debut?
Two.
Then okay,
He that was his second fight. 'Cause for
okay,
some
so
reason he fought before and then
okay, so
this is
contender
time off.
series, and then
Yeah.
there's two fights in the UFC. So we can give him a little more of a test because he hasn't even been out the first round yet. And when I'm looking at the roster for this division at 170, there's a fight that I'm like, yeah, he could definitely fight the winner out of that because you know how the UFC tends to give these older vets that are on the decline a new guy like Mallet who has a whole Canadian, backing behind him and they want to go to Canada. So I'm looking at Matt Brown versus Court McGee. Both these guys are vets. I know you're both familiar with these guys. They've been around a
Yeah.
long time, but they're on the decline, man. Their best fights are beyond them.
Mhm.
I think he fights the winner out of that. And we really would see how, Mallet would be outside the first round because these guys would probably take him outside the first round. They got so much experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I would love that because like you said, both guys are on the tail end of their career, but they're veterans, man. They done you know guys like Matt Brown and Corey McGee. They've done seen it all. They've seen it all. You know, and that would absolutely be Mallet's toughest test of his career. You know, they would drag him at least into the second round. He would face somewhat of resistance. I don't know if I want to call it adversity, but he would face some resistance for sure. And those either one of those veteran guys. So yeah, man. And look, if he goes in there and blows through the winner of that fight, that's a big statement as well. You know, because even though that they're on the back half of their career, they're still in it to fight, man. And they still got a little bit of tread left on the tire, so they're not completely done. So yeah, I think that would be perfect for Mallet, man. For Mallet's next fight.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, moving on to the heavyweight. Augusto Sakai, he got the win in dominating fashion. Don't mean to rub it in, Harley, but I just got to.
In
Hey,
dominating
I gotta,
fashion,
hey,
man.
I gotta rub it in because Harley been killing me on these last couple fights, man. He's got me at
I
least,
understand.
bro. So
I
I
understand.
gotta take my wins when I get them. You feel me?
Get it while you can, bro, because it ain't gonna be much for much long.
But Sakai, man, he lost 4 in a row. He's just getting a win. So I'm looking at another guy kind of with a similar resume who had a high rise, tried to make the climb. UFC pushed him, and similar is on a 3 fight losing streak right now. And I'm gonna give Sakai Chris Dawkins, man. They're both, we're on the losing end. UFC tried to push him a little bit too early. Dawkins really ain't booked right now, and he's coming off a knockout loss. Sakai really doesn't pose a knockout threat, so I don't see why he wouldn't take it. And yeah, that's what I see kind of business wise. Fan wise, not the most fan friendly fight though.
Yeah, I can see Takao versus Douglas. Like you said, both guys coming off a loss. Both guys need a win. Well, no, I'm sorry. So before this fight, Takao was coming off 3, 4 straight losses, but he got this win about I made. And then you got Dawkins coming off a loss as well. I think that's doable for both guys. Yeah, I can see that fight happening. Yeah, like you said, definitely not the most fan friendly,
Right.
but it could make sense for both guys.
Yeah, it could be like one of them fights where that fills out like a fight night main card, you know what I mean? Where you got a
Yeah.
heavyweight, a quote unquote heavyweight attraction, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to Tatiana Suarez. I mean, besides Brendan Allen, probably the most impressive on the card, considering
Oh
she's been
yeah,
out
man.
for like 4 years. And when I'm looking at Suarez, I'm looking at 2 fights for her, one at 125 and one at 115. I know she mentioned that 115, but I mean, she's gonna get probably fights offered at both weight classes. And when I'm looking at a girl like Suarez, she just, she passed her test with flying colors. Let's not even like try to spoon feed this girl. Like, let's get her right into
I
the top
agree.
10. And let's get her into the top 10 with keeping her healthy, right? Let's get her these fast wins. At 125, I'm gonna give her number 7 ranked Lauren Murphy. That's not a fight where
Y-
she's gonna take damage, and it's gonna put her in the top 10 right away.
Yeah, for Suarez, look, no disrespect to Lauren Murphy. She's tough. She's a veteran. She's tough as hell. She comes to fight, but like we said all the time, there's levels to it, man. And I think for Suarez, yes, Murphy is in the top 10, so it's a top 10 opponent, a veteran top 10 opponent, I might add. But look, I don't predict fights outcomes on these pods, on these, you know, what's next pods. But for Suarez, I think Suarez, if she were to fight Murphy, goes in and gets a stoppage victory. Um, you know, like you said, Murphy in the top 10, a veteran presence. Yeah, but it's a good. I don't want to say easy way into the top 10, but it's low risk for Suarez to take this fight, try to get her to the top 10. So yeah, definitely makes sense
So
for Suarez to take
that
this
was
fight.
the first fight. That one's at 125. She beats her. She's definitely in top 10. She beats a 7 rank, no brainer. At 115, she talked about going to it. So this is most likely to happen. When I'm looking at the top 10, stylistically, another fight that where she's probably not going to take damage, and it's a smaller girl. Suarez is coming from 25. I'm going to give her the number 8 ranked Tisha Torres. A lot of people know Torres, and styles make fights, man. I think she runs through Torres. I don't even know. I think they might have fought before, bro. Let me check. But I mean,
I think they might have, yeah.
that would get her right in the mix in both weight classes in both fights. Let me see. Nope, didn't fight her, so there you go. Puts her right in the top 10.
Perfect. Yeah, man. I could definitely see those two fights happening, and I agree with you. Because I mean, let's be honest, dude. If Suarez stays healthy, and she wouldn't have been out for 4 years due to those injuries, I'm not gonna say she would be a world champion, but who's to say she wouldn't be a world champion? You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, so it and dude, she's still how old is Warner?
Shit. 32?
Yeah, so she's look, she's in a prime of her career, but she's still got a lot of miles left. You
Right.
know, she only had 9 fights. If the girl stays healthy, she can be around for a while. And yeah, I agree, dude. Again, I can't predict. I don't have a crystal ball in front of me. But as far as stays healthy, I think she could be a world champion within a year, year and a half.
Yeah, man.
I really do. You know, so and with that being said, to get her to that level, and she can be a fan friendly fighter. She already is. You know what I'm saying? She could be somebody that the UFC can market, in my opinion.
Right.
So to get her to that level, you gotta get her to the top tier as soon as you can. You know, and with the way she's with what she did De La Rosa Saturday night, she's more than ready to take a jump into the top 10 in my opinion. So
Absolutely.
yeah, both of these make sense.
All right. So moving on to the main event winner, Brendan Allen, biggest fight of his career, comes through, flying colors. Um, we gotta imagine he's gonna be in the top 15, maybe the top 10. When I'm looking at the middleweight division, a lot of these guys are already booked. I know he wants a rematch with Sean Strickland. I think one more fight, and that could probably happen, but I'm not gonna give him Strickland right away. One fight that I would give him, you got Kevin Gastelum versus Chris Curtis coming up in April, early April. If Gastelum would win, I would give Brendan Allen versus Gastelum. You would give Brendan a good test and to see where he's at versus a formal title challenger, and I think that'd be a good fight for him. Another fight that this guy isn't even ranked, but if you're looking for a big name fight and some money, on like let's say a UFC fight card, main card, what I'm saying, main card opener, Chris Weidman, what I'm saying, Chris Weidman is coming up and doing a grappling match, I think either this weekend or the next couple weeks, which means he's healthy, ready to go probably in the next 6 months. Brendan Allen versus Chris Weidman, man. If you're looking to make some, you know what I'm saying, and a big name on
Yeah.
your resume, and you ain't, you know what I'm saying, that's a good time to catch Chris Weidman while he's on a layoff.
Yeah, okay. So matchmaker Zach, you gave us a lot of layers to break down right here. First of all, I'm gonna go with the Chris Curtis versus
Kevin
Gastelum
Gastelum.
fight. Okay. Now you said if Gastelum wins, you give him Gastelum. That's cool. Former world champion. You know, hey, let's put a former world champion on his resume. See what he can do. That'd be great. You know, and Gastelum hadn't been active, really active lately, so that would make sense. Let's say if he beats Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis was the guy that he called out this past Saturday. He fought Chris Curtis before he lost to him. But let's say Curtis beats Gastelum. Do they run it back? You think he runs it back with Chris Curtis?
It just wouldn't make sense, man. If Chris Curtis was top 10, it would make sense, but he's just not top 10 right now. And it's like, I don't know. For me, if I'm Brendan, like, of course you want that rematch. You took it on short notice, but all right, Chris Curtis, I think took it on short notice. But there's not much to gain off of that rematch right now. Keyword right now. Let Chris Curtis get a bigger name. Let you have a big name right now, and then run it back. Not right now, though.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
even if
man.
Chris Curtis beats Gastelum, it's still like, man, Chris Curtis is such a good fighter, but for some reason, he just doesn't have that it factor. You know what I'm saying? Which don't make a fuck in the actual fighting, but when you look at it from a business standpoint, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then you mentioned uh Chris Weidman. Yeah. Hell, another former world champion. Yeah. So I mean, hey, either one of those, bro. Hey, we'll say, look, if Brandon's and like you said, a lot of times it's not only who you fight him, who you're fighting, but when you fight him.
Right.
And like you said, Chris has been out for a long time now due to injury. Yes, he's getting healthy again. We know Chris can fight, obviously. The man won a world title. So I mean, yeah, you don't win a world title by being a bum. But with that being said, it would be a good time for him to fight Chris Weidman. Coming off of such a long layoff, former world champion, be another step up. And let's say if he fights Gaslam or Weidman and runs through either one of them, then you say, okay, man, this
Yeah.
guy Brandon Allen is legit, like really ready to take him. And then who knows what would come of it next. But yeah, that'd be either one of those would be a good step up for Brandon Allen to see what he's really where he's really at right now.
Hell yeah, man. So that's our main card. Who's next? You know what I mean? Playing matchmaker. We're gonna continue to put a lot more content than we usually do. All we ask is that you like, subscribe, comment your opinions. If you like the matchups, comment. If you got matchups you're thinking of, comment. And yeah, man, continue to support us, and we're gonna continue to grow the brand, give you more parlays, and all of this is for free, man. So take advantage of it. Harley, you got anything?
Yeah, man. Before we get out of here, like I said, guys, please just support. All we ask you guys hit the like button, share our posts, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Both pages that bet on an MMA. We'll give you guys free parlays each and every week. A lot of times we'll give you more than one parlay for free. Uh, and also feel free to interact with us. Even if you guys say, nah, I got a way better matchup, y'all don't know what you're talking about, hey, we'll take it. We want to interact with y'all and see what you're thinking as well. So yeah, just spread the word for us, guys. Like our content, share the word, and guys, I brought this up a few times. We had a few guys send it to us for the last card, but also if you bet on our parlay and you guys win some money, send us your receipt. Send us the proof that you guys won some money, and we'll shout you out. We'll put it on our social media and shout you guys out as well. Just please continue to support us, and then we'll be back with a lot more content. Look forward to doing more for you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Till next time.